But today I'm just going to ride around our property in the gardens and around the chickens and all of that and get together my list of things that need to be done around here to get ready for spring. So we're at the gate going into the garden. I just need to open this so I can get the golf cart in. We're going to take a drive over here and see what all needs to be done to start getting our property ready for spring. So this is the entrance to our garden. We're going to go around this way. We'll start around here. So this is where our greenhouse was, and I actually planted crimson clover here. You can see it's doing really good. This is where the greenhouse was, and we lost the greenhouse in a windstorm. The greenhouse itself didn't come out of the ground, like it was bolted down into the ground, and it did not come up out of the ground, but the cloth on it ripped to shreds. So we lost that. So that you can see over there, the frame is right here. It's all tore up. So this is our compost bin. This is our compost bin. This is our compost bin. So that's doing pretty good, I guess. And this is our yard. It's called Yard Stash. I can link it in the description box if you're interested in it. It looks like a small tent-like thing, but it got tossed around in the wind as well and tore the zipper. Somehow the zipper got torn during all that wind. So this is really sturdy, and we really like this for storing stuff in our garden because we don't have a building over here. And so right now the cloth, the fabric that was on the greenhouse is in there. I'm not willing to throw that in the garbage, even though some of it's torn, because I'm going to use that to make low tunnels, I guess, for different areas inside the garden. I know that it can be repurposed, so I'm not going to throw that out. And then I have a sewing machine, so I'm going to see if I can sew that zipper back on. I'm not familiar with sewing zippers, but I am going to do some research and try to fix that myself. So as we ride around the property, you can see this is the greenhouse frame, part of it. There's two more pieces over in the other pasture, but that's the greenhouse frame. We had to have some trees taken down, so these still need to be processed. This needs to go on my list of things for Mark to help me with. This needs to be processed. These also, here's some more trees that need to be processed. This is a silage tarp. It is ginormous. And you can see with the rain that we've had where the water pools. So I'm not sure what we're going to plant here. We may not plant anything, but I'm thinking that we probably will plant something. I'm not sure yet, but I am researching what I can do to get this fixed and, you know, add some dirt and sand and that kind of stuff and try to figure out exactly what to do so this is a usable garden, because this is huge. And the only reason this silage tarp is here is because we wanted to have a place to store it where there might be a potential garden, and this is one of the areas that we knew we wanted to try to work on and plant some stuff in the spring. So we'll see what happens with that. Around on the back side of that silage tarp is this garden bed. This garden bed is 10 feet by 30 feet, and this is the cut flower. This is a cut flower garden, but it is one of the bags of seeds that you just, you know, you spread out that you can get from Burpee. It's a pretty big bag of just all different cut flower seeds, and that's what we had here last year, and they did beautifully. And so I fully intend to plant this little cut flower garden again this year in the spring. So this is where we ended last. This is the cut flower garden that I was showing you in the silage, the large silage tarp back there. And straight across from that is the vegetable garden. This is where a vegetable garden was last year. We had some issues with drainage on here last year. And so this year I'm going to change up where I plant things. This is crimson clover. I have a ton of crimson clover planted here. This was 2 rows, 3 feet wide rows, 2 of them that we didn't plant anything in last year. We had some okra up at the top, but all of this was just empty. And so I wanted to put some stuff in the soil for over winter and, you know, the beginning part of spring. And so we chose to plant crimson clover here and see how that helps our soil. I do want to get the soil tested again. We got it tested when we first moved to this property because we knew this area was where we wanted to have our garden. And we did have it tested when we first moved in. And since we've had one growing season here, and this will be our 2nd year gardening here, I want to have this tested again at UGA and see how we've done with the soil and if there's anything that needs to be added to the soil now that we're in our 2nd year of gardening here. So this pile of wood chips, we had this delivered from Jackson EMC. If you're a member of an EMC, you can call them, and when they do road work or trim the trees on the roads or whatever, you can ask them to bring you wood chips, and they will put you on a list, and when they have wood chips available, they'll bring those to you and dump them in your yard. We've had several loads brought to us, and this one is ready for the chores that need to be done in our garden, you know, starting in the next couple weeks. And over there on that line, that thing of metal that you see over there, that is all of our cattle panels that we are using as trellises. I think they're 16 feet long, and I believe we have 20 of them. And so as soon as I finish planning out the garden, which hopefully will be over the next course of the week, as soon as I finish planning out the garden and where everything is going to go, those trellises or those cattle panels will be placed where I need them inside our garden for the 2023 growing season. This is one of our very sad scarecrows. He's lost his hat. We have a scarecrow back there that's looking sad. And then there's a scarecrow right there that's looking sad. So they all have to be restuffed and gotten ready for the new season. So this garden here is our garlic, onions, carrots, cabbage, and bok choy garden. We have 375 heads of garlic planted right now, and I don't know how many onions and stuff, but this is right on the back of the main garden right there where the vegetable garden was last year. It's right behind it. So this garden is where we had our pumpkins last year. It is on the front side of the garden where the onions and garlic and all the cabbages are. It's like right in the back of that. And then as we drive around, there's nothing planted here right now except some willow trees that we ordered that we have planted out. We have some of those. And then over here on this side, we get over here, this garden here, this is on the side, on the back side of where the onions and garlic are planted. This garden is a cut flower garden, and we probably will do the same thing here again next year because the cut flowers did really, really well here last year. So we will most likely plant that there again, those flowers there again. But I know we're going to add on to that because we need a lot more flowers than we had last year. Over here is this area. It is so windy today. So this area here is our tulip bed. And as you can see, I'll show you, I've been coming out to check on them. Here's our tulips. They look so pretty. I cannot wait for spring to come and see how that's gonna look. But that whole bed is full of tulips. And then this bed is full of daffodils, and you can see how they're doing now. It's the second week of January, and this is the growth we have. We're waiting on hay to be delivered, so I know that we're gonna have some more cold weather. So I'm waiting on hay to be delivered so I can put another big thick layer of hay on top of these beds. And these flowers are Dutch iris, and you can see the growth that we have with those. So they're coming along beautifully. Our weather has been so crazy. It's been hot and then cold and rainy and then freezing. But anyway, this is our peach tree. I trimmed these up and got them ready for when spring comes. But that's a peach tree that we have. And then this little tree is a plum tree. It's our plum tree. And then this tree is a red delicious apple tree. It's actually pretty big. It's grown a lot since we planted it, so I'm anxious to see how it like flourishes in the spring. I imagine that it's going to take off now that it's lived there for one whole year. But we have another large silage tarp right here that runs all the way down that we need to move into this area here, this whole area here, because that's going to be part of our vegetable garden this year. We want to make sure we get that expanded. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot of things that need to be done. I'm real excited to show you guys everything that we've ordered for seeds and seeds that I had left from last year, and like all the things that's going to go in the garden and where we're going to put everything, and a new chicken coop that Mark's building. And you know, like I said, I lost my greenhouse in the in a windstorm. It's always windy here, very windy here. So I think it's just where our house is situated, because I don't think Georgia's necessarily a windy area, but where this house is situated in this property, the wind just comes right across our property, and it's always windy here, which is really nice in the summer because you can always use a breeze. But we are going to start working on a cattle panel greenhouse, and it's going to be much smaller than the greenhouse that I had before, but I'm going to make that work this season because I need that greenhouse right away. And so it's going to have to be a makeshift greenhouse. And we found some good plans online from some different homestead websites that we follow. So we are going to use one of those plans and make a cattle panel greenhouse, and we'll bring you guys along for the ride to see how that's built, and how we get shelves in it and all that kind of stuff, because it's getting time. You know, by the time I have one order of seeds that hasn't come in yet that should be here this week. And once I get those seeds in, I'll do a video on my seed haul for our flowers and herbs and fruits and vegetables and all of that that's going to go into our garden for 2023. And tell you, by then I'll have my sketch out on my in my garden book, so I can show you exactly where everything is going to go and what size it is and all of that. And hopefully by then we'll have some aerial views of our farm, and we'll be able to share those too, at least some aerial views of the garden area, because that's real exciting when you start building out, you know, when you have a garden and then you add on to it, and you know, you start a second year because you've learned so much the first year, and you get to bring that to the next year that you're gardening, and that's always real exciting. And you know, Mark's adding on to the bees, and so he's going to have, I think he's going to have 4 nooks of bees this spring. So he's adding more bees, and we lost some of our bees in the cold weather. So yeah, Mark will have to go over that whenever he can. I don't know a whole lot about the bees. He handles that, so that on that end of it, we'll have to ask him some questions and see what's going on and what's happening and what he plans to do about that. But I do know that he's going to have 4 things of bees this spring. But that's what we're working on the farm right now. Mark and I both have been pretty sick, and we're trying to get over that right now, and just have a lot of things going on. And so, but at the same time, we need to get geared up for spring, because all the chores and everything that needs to be done, we're going to run out of time quick before it starts getting super hot and it's time to plant, and everything just gets shoved into full gear when you know, around like the end of February. It's like right then, it's like busy until the end of summer. So I'm gonna go inside and make a list of everything that I drove around in the garden to see what needs to be done, and get everything organized, and then figure out Mark's schedule when he can take a couple of days off here and there to have a long weekend to help me get some of these things done that I can't do by myself, and then get our plan together. And hopefully our seeds, the last bit of our seeds, will be here this week, like I said, and I can show you the whole seed haul of everything that's going in the garden for flowers and vegetables and all of that stuff. And it'll be exciting to get everything ready, plan everything out, watch it grow. And then, you know, last year it was so rewarding to have the kids come over, and you know, they would come over with their crates, their plastic crates that they would buy at Sam's or whatever, and they would just come over and make theirself at home in our garden and just pick and pick and pick and take stuff home. And we were able to make a lot of stuff for our new grandbaby for baby food. And it was just really nice to be able to have the kids come over and be able to share with them everything that we worked so hard for in the garden. That was very rewarding for us. So we're looking forward to the garden season this year. So I hope you'll follow along. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to our channel, I hope that you will, so you can see what's going on our farm. And hopefully Mark's going to be more involved in our videos this year. He's got a pretty busy workload, but he is trying to make extra time for videos and the things that he helps out with behind the scenes. A lot of times it's with his headlamp on and it's dark outside. So it's just whenever he has the time, and a lot of times it's after dark. So we are trying to figure out a little bit of a different schedule to be able to have him more involved in our YouTube channel. So I am excited for that. So I hope you guys will follow along and you'll find some things helpful, and you'll share our videos and come back every time a video has been uploaded. And yeah, come along for the ride with us and see how this garden season pans out for us this year. Talk to you soon.